get started. So when you first open Premiere, you're going to click on New Project, and you can name it at the very top there, and then choose the project location. It's very important to tell Adobe Premiere where to save everything. I like to put everything all in the same folder, where I'm going to give you this folder with these 3 other folders in it. So we have video footage, audio, and photography. So I'm going to give you that, and make sure you save your project in that same folder. And then we can just skip all this stuff right here for now and just press create. All right, now when you first open up your project here or get your project started, I want to make sure we're all in the same workspace. So you can go up to Window, Workspaces. I'm going to just reset this to the way it looks when you first open it. And then what I want you to do is go where it says Production and just close that panel there, so that we all have the same 4 panels open. We have our project window, source, program, and timeline. You can also change the workspaces up here on the top right. You'll probably do that a lot as we work. We might go into the graphics workspace, and if you're looking at any tutorials that are older Premiere, you'll have your workspaces listed up here at the top, but in the new Adobe Premiere, it's over here on the side. All right, let's go ahead and start our project. So you can double click inside your project window, and let's pick our folders to import. I'm going to import this folder here. Oh, and by the way, folders in Adobe Premiere are called bins. So we can call it a bin, and we're going to import that. And let's double click in here again, and I want to click on the audio. I'm going to import a song to use in the background. And then finally, one more thing, I'm going to double click in the project window and download some photography. We probably won't use it in this assignment except for maybe the logo. There's a little logo icon. All right, so now we have our video footage, our song, and we have some photography. So we're ready to start our project. Let's start off by importing some of the video footage. So if you double click on your folder, you can see that we have these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 6 clips. So we're only going to use 5 of them. So because we're going to make a 15-second commercial. So we should use 5 of them just for 3 seconds. I think that this one here makes a good opening one. So I'm going to click on that first. And the source monitor just lets you preview what your clip looks like. Let's drag this time indicator to the beginning. So what you do in the source monitor is usually you just do in points over here and out points, or you can press I and O so that you can clip the video. Like right now it's 19 seconds. We don't really need that much. So let's just watch it for a second. So maybe I'm going to press I here, and let's end it right there. So you can see how it gave me, I pressed I here and O there. It gave me an in point and out point. That way when I put it down here in my timeline, it will only be showing me this segment of the video. You can still change it, so you don't have to worry about being really specific. When you're in your timeline, you can still change it. So I can just go ahead and click this and drag it and dump it right into the timeline. All right, I'm going to push plus to zoom in a little bit and minus to zoom out. Don't forget, you can always press the tilde key to zoom in and use the whole screen, and then press it again to go back. And you can also come over here and drag these up so that you can see more of your clip. All right, so I'm only going to need about half of that to make it a 3-second clip. So you can see right now the duration is 7 seconds. So you can just go over here to the side, and you can just move that over and look at the duration. It's telling me at the bottom right, or the little tag there on the right, that I now have a 3-second and 12 frames long clip. So that's good enough. All right, let's go ahead and do this highway one next. 1001, 1002, 1003, and then I press O. So I for in and O for out. And again, I'm going to drag the whole thing. There's no audio, so it'll just give me video. And I'm going to put that right next to there. So now you can see when I move over here, I have a little bit longer than 15 seconds. So if I want to shorten any of these clips, I can do that with this tool here, the Ripple Edit tool. So if I want to go in here and let's say, let me blow this up a little bit. And I want to move my time indicator to 3 seconds exactly. So if I use this Ripple Edit tool, it will I can drag it over and it will move everything else over with it. So if I try to do that, let me show you the opposite. If I were to just use this tool, I can definitely make this 3 seconds and it leaves a hole there, and I could technically right click in that hole and say Ripple Delete and it would move it over. It's just an extra step, so it's kind of easier to just go ahead and use the Ripple Edit tool. So now I'm going to move my time indicator to 6 seconds, and I'm going to get the Ripple Edit tool and drag this over, and I'll move everything else with it. And then let's go to 9 seconds. Again, Ripple Edit, pull this over. You can also use your arrow keys to switch in between the clips. So if you press the down key, it goes forward. The top arrow goes that way, so I can go right in between each clip. And let's see, I want this to be, that one went from 9, 10, 11, 12. I want it to end at 12, so I'm going to Ripple Edit over here like this. And then I want my commercial to end at 15, and it pretty much does. I want to put some transitions in between these videos, so let's scrub up here to this point and I'll press play. So this is the program monitor. This is showing you what your final project looks like. So right now when we have this, you see how the transition is real abrupt. It goes from there and just switches to that. I don't like that. I want it to like fade in from one to the next clip. So where you do that is over here in the project window. If you click on Effects and then open up Video Transitions folder and look for Dissolve. You can try any of these that you want. I think the Dissolve is a good one to use, and I'm just going to pick Cross Dissolve. You just click and drag that and drop it right there in between the two clips. If you want it to last longer, you can click on it and you can change it by dragging this out so that makes it last longer. Let's try that. I think that's a good speed. All right, and so now we want to put it in between all of our clips. So once again, you can use the arrow keys on your keyboard and it will take you right to the cuts between the videos. So I'm going to take this cross dissolve, and once again, I'm going to drop it in there, and then I'm going to extend it out to just be a little bit longer. Let's test this one. I'm going to scrub back a little bit, press play. There we go. That's good. Once again, arrow keys to the next cut line, drag the cross dissolve and make it a little bit longer. And one more. And make that one a little bit longer. And then at the very end, I want it to fade to black. I don't want it to just stop. So I'm going to go to dip to black and drag that effect right there on the end. All right, let's rewind the whole thing and see what it looks like. Actually, I'm going to have a cross dissolve in the very beginning too, so that it comes in from black and turns into the video. All right, let's play. So let's go back to the beginning and let's go and add our soundtrack. So you'll see here we have V1, V2, V3. These are your video tracks, and these are just like layers in Photoshop. Then we have these that are called A. This is for audio. So let's go into our project. So back to the project folders, and this right here is our audio. You can tell by the little thumbnail being these green squiggly lines. We're going to take that and drag it to the very beginning And now let's play it again. Very good. All right, let me zoom out by pressing the minus key in the timeline panel. And obviously this song is much longer than what we need. So I'm going to go over here, see how it turns red. Let me expand this panel a little bit so you can see it better. See how it turns red like that? I'm going to click and move this up here and have it extend just out a little bit. And then I'm going to show you how to do a fade so it doesn't just abruptly stop. Fade out is a really easy thing to do. So I'm over here in the timeline and I did plus to zoom in a little bit. You can do minus to zoom out. And I also have this here so you can drag it to be a little bit bigger so you can see this line that you see going across here is the volume. So what we want to do is just have that fade out. If you don't see that volume, you can right click on here and say show clip keyframes and show your volume. You can see I have level selected there. So if you don't see your line there, go right click on that and get it. So this line here, we just want it to fade off. That's the volume line. So if I get my pen tool, I can put a point right here, and then I can put another point where I want the volume to end and just drag it all the way down to the bottom. Now when I zoom out, or when I rewind a little bit and play, you see it fades out. So you can adjust the speed of it if you want to like move it a little bit more this way, or if you want the volume fade to start a little bit sooner, you can just edit these keyframes that you made with the pen tool. So now we're ready to, we have our sound in and we have our clips and we have our dissolves in between each clip. Now I'm ready to put in a graphic on here that we're going to use as our logo. So let's go into the project folder here and open the photography bin. And this logo right here, it looks like it's just a black square, but it's actually a black logo and it's just a transparent background, so it's showing in as black. We're going to grab this and put it here at the beginning. All right, so you can see when it starts off, it's really too big, so I want to make this smaller. So I'm going to click right here at the beginning of this, and if you go up here into your source monitor, this is what we had on before. If you go to Effect Controls and click on that, we can change the size of this. So we need to click on our PNG, make sure that that's selected. This is a lot like layers in Photoshop. You have to make sure you're on the right layer. So I'm going to click on this graphic, open Effect Controls, and then go over here to where it says Motion, and open this up, and then we can see Scale. So I can change the size of it. So if I click right here, I'm making my first keyframe. I want this to be a lot smaller, so we can click on here. And actually we can make it zoom in so that it starts off really small, like almost nothing. And then by the time it comes out to right here, we can make it, I'm going to go ahead and go to the very end of it, and we can make it a lot bigger. So we're going to click here and make another keyframe. And now we are going to make it bigger. All right, so let's rewind this and see what it looks like. So we're going to have a logo on top of that, or some text on top of it. And once again, we want it to fade out. And I'm going to go back here and put another keyframe, and we'll just reduce the opacity. So let's click on the graphic track here and go over here to opacity. Let's open that up. And I have it right here because this is where I want it to be full black. So we're going to go ahead and put in a keyframe there. And then at the very end, I want the opacity to be nothing. So we're going to go to the end of that clip here. Whoops. Put that on the end, and we want the opacity, we're going to put a keyframe there, and we want the opacity to be 0. So let's try that. That's perfect. All right, that's what I want. So if you ever want to change the spacing between the keyframes, like if I wanted it to fade out quicker, you could just shorten this distance here, or if you wanted the fade to be slower, you could move that keyframe from there. Now we're ready to put our text in here. So I want to have like a title screen, and then each one of these clips is going to have a sentence on them. So you can just get the type tool and start typing on here, but I want to show you how to use some of the pre-made title animations that they have in here that come with it. So you won't have to do any animating. We can just type over the text. So let's go change workspaces, and let's go over to captions and graphics. And when that loads, you'll see over here on the right hand side it opened up a new panel called Essential Graphics, and it has these different already animated things for us to use. So let's scroll down and pick what we're going to do. So I'm giving you this document. Let me switch over. I'm giving you this document here, and this is the text that I want you to put on there. So these two things right here are going to go on the opening screen. We're going to have Titan Aerial going over top of that little graphic of the drone, and then underneath it we want it to say Professional Aerial Drone Service. Then this is going to be on the second clip, third clip, fourth clip, and then the very last clip you're going to have these two things. So let's start off. We can go ahead and just copy this Titan Aerial. That'll be the first thing that'll come on the screen. So I'm going to select that, Control C, and let's go back to Premiere, and I'm going to pick out something that I think would make a good title screen. Let's just be simple. All right, let's just do this one here, the film title. That'll be an easy one. So what you want to do is just click on it and drag it on a new track. So we're going to put this on video 3. And the length of this clip is going to be just to right here in between each track. So let's play that. I'm going to mute the volume so we don't really get sick of the song. So if you go over here, you can press mute so we don't have to hear the music over and over again. All right, so let's go and let's scrub back to where the text is. And you can edit your text here. So let's get the text tool and let's click on here and put Titan Aerial. Now if you want to change the font or anything, you can select it over here, and you can go down here and change the color. You can change the font to anything you want. I'm just going to go ahead and leave it on this for now. And then let's grab that little tagline here and copy that. Go to Premiere, and then I'm going to click on where it says episode name and paste that. Okay, so obviously we need to make this smaller. So let's select this one and go over here to the size and shrink it down. I think we can reduce the tracking, so I'm going to go over here and tighten that up a little bit. All right, let's rewind this and see how it looks. I'm still not too crazy about the second line of text. I'm fine with the title, but that one I am not as excited about. Maybe we can use a different font for that. Let's just try something more simple. And again, I think the tracking is a little bit big for this, so I'm going to click here, get my arrows and drag it in a little bit tighter. Maybe make the size a little smaller. Let's try that. I think that's good. If you want to do any other edits to it, you can do that. Like if you want to add a shadow, I think it already has a shadow. If you want to have an outline or change the colors, you can make any of those changes here. I'm going to go ahead and make it simple for now and leave that like that. All right, and then the next line of text we're going to need to put in, I want you to have this text kind of at the lower third down here at the bottom. So let's go over to our file and select the next line of text. Copy, go under Premiere, and let's go back to Essential Graphics and browse for a lower third. Here we go, film lower third. left. That will work. So let's click and drag that, and we can put that again here on video track number 3. Let it render, and we are going to tighten that up. We want it to end right when this other one starts. So let's move it forward a little bit, click in here, and type our next saying or our next sentence. And actually I want this to be centered, so I'm going to select that and put it on centered. And I think, yeah, that'll work. And then let's move ahead to the next one. And what we can do, yeah, let's go ahead and just drag. If you wanted to just copy and paste this one, like if you made any edits to it and you want it to be the same thing, we'll go ahead and do that. I'm going to copy it, but I noticed that you actually should, if you're going to do that, lock these other things because it might try to paste it inside of one of those tracks. So I'm going to lock everything except for video track 3, and I'll paste that in here. And let's go and get the text that we need. Go back to Premiere, click in there, paste the next line of text. And I want this text to be a little bit bigger than the other one, so I'm going to select that. Whoops. And I'm going to move it up a little bit. And I'm going to change this text here, just the bottom row, to that other font that we were using at the beginning. Something more simple. And I actually want to make this even bigger yet. Let's get our selection tool and move this up a bit. Maybe put another return here. Let me get the text tool and put a return there. Perfect. And then I want this one to last just a little bit longer so that it's on there when the screen is black. All right, I think we are done with this. Let's rewind it and back up to the very beginning. And let's turn our music back on so we can see how the final project is. Let's unlock all this stuff so that we can hear the music. All right, let's try it out. All right, so that's our first 15-second commercial. What you need to do next is export. So we're going to click on export. And we want it to be on H.264. That's a YouTube format there. And you can name it Titan Aerial Project. And I have the location in the same folder as my other stuff, so I already have that selected, and press export and you are done. So after it exports, you can upload this to YouTube and put that video in your website portfolio and export the link to that into Canvas for a grade.